So hello dysfunctional miscreants. Today is going to be a little bit of a different video than I normally do. I normally do makeup, or I'm doing the podcast with all of my miscreants. But today it's just going to be me and, well, our peanut gallery. Hello mama. And today I'm going to be telling you guys and my mom some scary stories. So it might be just, I don't know how long this video is going to be. It depends on like how long we talk about scary. Or if Sam calls me in the middle of the video, then it's gonna be a 40-minute video. Hi, Miss Fan. And today I'm also gonna be eating kimchi noodles with vegetables, and so I'm a big noodle fanatic. So, you know, somebody asked me a question today, and it's kind of dumb, but at the same time, it did get me to laugh and made me think about it. So, if you're alone in the house and you are sleeping, you wake up in the middle of the night, again, you're alone, and you just hear a fart out of nowhere. Do you laugh? Or do you get scared? Are you concerned? Like, are you just like, or are you like, you okay, dude?
Not that, I guess something. That is an odd question.
Everything about it.
Your first reaction wouldn't be to.
Wouldn't necessarily be to run away. It would be.
Like,
Who the wait.
I guess you'd be like, did I do that?
You're questioning your own ass.
Like, did I do that or did I do that?
Like, damn, are barking tree spiders real? You know what? If my cousin heard that, like if she was just walking around her apartment by herself and she just hears a, she'd probably end up dying laughing. So, just calling you out, Gabby, I don't think you would. You would be dying. You'd be like, who the fuck is here? But that leads me to my next point. Living alone. Which is something that I'm kind of scared. Not only am I like mentally unstable, but like living alone is some sketchy shit. Like, you could die at any minute. I heard a story today, and this woman, she lives with her dog, and so every night her dog would like sleep by her bedside, and she would give him kisses. Well, she's sitting there and she's asleep, and she could feel something in her room, and she hears her dog start to growl. Like whatever dogs do. I act like I don't have a dog, but I don't really know what her dog did. But making all these growling, grunting noises, and she's like, shh, shh. She like waits, and she like puts her hand down, and it's on the floor, and she feels him start to lick her hand, and she's like, good boy, be quiet, be quiet. And the dog shuts up. She wakes up in the morning, and she's calling for her dog and can't find it. She looks under the bed where her dog was and finds a note. Can you guess what the note said?
I have your dog.
This isn't taken. No. It says, dogs aren't the only thing that can lick, sweetheart. Isn't that fucked up?
Oh, I don't want no damn ghost to lick me or somebody in the house. Did she find the dog?
I don't know, I didn't stop to ask her. I don't even know who this was. I'm probably getting like noodle sauce on my. It's really good though.
This is why you listen to the growling dog. If the dog is growling, you get up and you check the shit out.
Well, think about it. This is why, you know what? This is why I don't like beds that have like too much room underneath it. Like, my bed is perfect. I can put like weights underneath it and do stuff like that. But the weakest point, like if you cut it, you're done, is the Achilles heel. So people will sit there and wait under your bed. So when you go to get in it, they slice it. If that person was seriously under their bed with their dog, they're not going to wait 2 seconds to slice that heel. If she would have listened to the dog, she could have been dead. At least the dog's just gone. I mean, I feel bad saying that, but she's still alive. She could go find, she could go adopt.
This is why you sleep with weapons.
What is she gonna do? Lean down, slice the dog?
No, but okay. I've heard dogs growl and bark, and people say, "Shut up." And I've also been told my dog to shut up, and then walked in my garage, and all the shit in my garage has been gone. And you know what? The dog heard the thief in the garage. So, obviously the dog hears more than me. So I'm saying. I mean, you got the damn dog for a reason.
Because I'm lonely.
People get dogs for protection, and because they love them, but I mean, obviously she got the dog for protection too. So, if she didn't listen to it.
Okay. So here is another one. At least this person didn't live by themselves. Like, kudos to them. Oh, wait. There's another one. I need to think about it. I totally forgot what it was. Yeah, I can't remember it. Whatever. I'll think of it later. But there's one. And this happy-go-lucky couple. I'm very sad. I'm very alone. Anyway, this happy-go-lucky couple, they moved into a house together. And they're all happy and giddy and yay. Well, one of the requirements of the house was that it have an office. And so, because the husband, father, whatever, that required that they had an office because they worked a lot. And not only that, but they worked a lot from home. So they wanted to kind of like satisfy the partner and be home more and, you know, do a little in the office and some jazz like that. Well, every time at around 3:45, he'd be on the computer and he would feel a, and then a slight ASMR on the back of his neck. And so he's like, what the fuck? And so every day, like, he tries and to figure out what it is. There's nothing in there, and he doesn't believe in ghosts. He doesn't believe in being haunted. And so he like tried talking to it. He tried saying something. He thought it was his wife at first, and she was like, no, it's definitely not me. I'm not in your office while you're working. Like, you kicked me out too many times, whatever. So he was finally like, look, I can't handle this anymore. I need you to sit in front of me, and whenever I feel it, just like put your hand behind me, see if you could see it. Like, try and see if you could see it. Or if she sits in there and she's waiting and they both hear the, so she puts her hand on the back of his neck and she can feel it too. So it's not just after him, and it's in the same spot, same area. If he moves to the side, he'll feel it here. If he moves to the side, he'll feel it here. So they went to a specialist, and the specialist was like, look, here's what I gotta say. Since it's not doing anything too crazy to you, it's not like trying to like steal your baby some crap, it's not trying to cut your Achilles or steal your freaking dog. Go ahead and buy a Polaroid camera. So you'll get a Polaroid camera, and as soon as you feel it, have her take a picture, have her take a few, and then go get them developed. So they're sitting there and they're waiting, and that's what they did. Well, sure enough, when they got the pictures developed, what do you think they saw? Mm-mm. There's not a hand. In the pictures, so when you take it straight on, So like if you're looking directly at me, so the people in the camera can understand. If you're looking directly at me, you'll see legs behind me.
Is it like a spider?
Mm-mm. Legs. And then she pointed the camera up. And in the house before them, a man hung himself at 3:45. So every day at 3:45, you hear the, which is the snapping of the neck, and then the was his feet hitting the back of his neck.
So it's like the residual haunting. The same thing happened because that was the last moment. Okay.
That's some sad but scary shit.
It's sad, yeah.
I'd be like, one day he ain't gonna die when he jumps down, and I'm gonna run because I'm gonna die with him. I'm gonna take his place. I do. I love spicy stuff. I got one more story for you guys. So I'm gonna ask you, do you want like a real story? Or, well, I guess all of those were real stories, but like, do you want like a real like paranormal, like scary, spooky, woo? It's gonna be both of these two that I have in store are a little bit longer, but one of them is a little more spooky than the other one. One of them is a creepypasta that I've kind of remade to my own, or one that's real that was told to me by one of my coworkers. We're being haunted. So how this one works out is a guy, he would travel for his business, okay? And him and his boss were super close, and whenever they would travel, they were kind of on the like baby side, the like let's do some blow and shut the cat up, and
I'm trying.
you know, just some crazy things like that. And they always had hose, all of the hose, all of the gardening tools. And what they would do was they had a number 315. So the first time that they ever went on a business trip together, they stayed in room 315, and it was in Laughlin. And they ended up winning big. So when they won big, they thought that room 315 was lucky because they got money, they got hose, and they got drugs. Now this man is married.
Oh, of course.
And actually both him and his boss are married, which really kind of sucks. Like, sleaze bags. Every time they would travel, they would go to room 315. And part of what they were doing is they were making their business grow. So they were getting people to open up new hotels, new buildings, and new restaurants that were owned by them. Well, they went to a small town in Illinois. And this isn't just a small town. There's a bar, and then 50 miles away is a city. And then 50 miles away from that is so on and so forth. Well, somewhat close to the bar, about 10 miles away, is a hotel. And that's where they were staying. So they went down, and his flight arrives. So they went down. His flight arrives, he goes early because him and his wife are fighting. And when he arrives, he opens up the front door and he realizes this is really old school. Like, this hasn't been remodeled. There's probably, what do they call the little like wood eater things? That's
Beaver?
no.
Oh, termites.
Termites, there you go. This is probably termite infested and all this like fun shit. And as he walks in, it's like late at night. He just didn't want to hear him anymore. He walks in and the lady at the front desk is like nodding off. She is not having a good time. She just wants to go to bed. And he's like, hey, I got a reservation here. And she's like, Nick, well, we only have 2. And so she turns around and she goes, Peters? And he's like, yeah, Peters. And she pauses and she goes, you requested room 315? And he goes, yeah, I did. She's like, And you can see that there's like some worry on her face. Like she is not okay with like just being like, okay, yeah, have this room, whatever. So she's like, are you sure you want that room? He goes, yeah, it's my lucky room. I've always gotten it. I'm always going to stick to it. My partner should be here too soon. And she goes, okay, well, I'm going to give you the key. And again, this is really old school. So the keys that they have are like those push-in keys where you turn. I mean, obviously there's push-in keys, but you can see through the keyhole. But they're old school. They're creepypastas. So she hands him the key, and before he goes up, she goes, sir, before you go up, I just want to warn you. The room before yours is 213. Whatever you hear in that room, whatever goes on, just don't pay attention to it. Stay in your room and everything will be fine. And he's like, I ain't gonna listen to you, you can't tell me what to do. But in his head, he's also kind of like, she's serious about this. I'm gonna deal with it. So he goes up and he's walking down the hallway. You know how hotels have that like trippy like carpet in case you're drunk and they just want to throw you against the wall real quick. I've been there, done that. It sucks. So he's walking down it, and then he hears this like sob, this like, and he's like, the cat is listening to the story, and if the audio picked that up, my cat is helping me tell this. He hears his sobbing, and he's just like, where is that going? Like, what the hell? And he like, as he's like walking, he's like, okay, 211, 230, and it gets loud. He's like, and he can hear it, and it's just like this walloping, like it sounds like your throat is bleeding type screaming. And so he's like, she said to ignore it, fuck it, whatever. So he goes to his room, which is right next to his. He puts the key in, pulls it out, and walks in, and he like goes to like turn on the TV. The TV doesn't work, and he's like, God damn it, whatever. So he texts his business partner. He's like, hey, when are you gonna be here? He's like, 2 or 3 hours, whatever. He's like, okay. And so he thinks, he's like, alright, I'm gonna go get some ice, I'm gonna have a drink, come back, go to bed, everything will be fine. Well, as he gets out of his room, again, he hears this absurdly insane sobbing, and he's just like, Jesus Christ, bitch, what is wrong? I would be that way. I would be like, God damn. But, so he puts his ear to the door, and he's like, And in his head, he's thinking, if she has a heartbreak or something going on, that's a dandel. That's a dandelion. If that's a damsel in distress, easy bed target. So he's listening, and then he like goes down, and he goes and he's like looking through the keyhole, like, hello, where are you? And all I can see is a woman on the bed, and she's like hunched over, and she's just. And she's wearing a big floofy dress, big white floofs. Her hair is all fucked up, but it looks like it was just all done up nicely, like she's in a wedding. She was about to get married. And he's like looking through the keyhole, and she like looks over, and he's like, oh shit. And so he pauses, and he hears do 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 do, and no more crying. And so he goes to put his eye back over the keyhole, and it's red. It's just this milky, deep red. So he jumps back, and he's like, oh fuck, like what the hell was that? So he like goes and he runs downstairs to the front desk. He goes, what happened in 213? And she's like, did you check it out? And he was like, yes. She goes, well, what'd you do? Because you're not gonna make it depending on what you did. He's like, well, I looked through the keyhole. And she's like, did you see her? He goes, well, yeah, but she was just crying on the end of the bed. And she goes, oh good, maybe you're safe. She goes, tell me what happened. And he goes, no, you tell me what happened. You know, they're going back and forth. He goes, I'm not gonna play this game with you. And she's like, well, I told you not to fucking do it. Well, she ends up telling him, she's like, look, a long time ago, a woman and her husband, they were getting married. And the wedding was called off, and this is the hotel that they were staying at. They wanted to do a nice, like, farmy, hick town type of wedding. And she found out that he was cheating on her. And when she confronted him about it, they got into a big thing, and she said she didn't want to marry him. And they ended up fighting and fighting and fighting, to the point that she ended up killing him by pushing him off the balcony in that hotel. And then she was crying so hard for 3 days that her eyes turned bloodshot red. No pupil, no whatever this is called, areola. No, wait, that's your that's your nipple. No retinas. No pupils. Just all red. And whenever she looks at somebody and they've done wrong, the wrong that I've done wrong to her, in 3 days, your soul will be taken. And he's like, wait, like, what's the color of the red? Like, what's the red? And she's like, it's like a really soft, milky red. And he thinks back. That's when his heart, like, stopped, because he realized that when he looked through that keyhole, she didn't just put something over the door. She was looking back at him. They made eye contact, and that motherfucker's gonna die. 3 days. So that's that creepypasta. I probably didn't do it any justice. When you read it, it's a little more intense. You're just like, oh. Especially when you put 2 and 2 together. It's so exciting, because you're like, oh, that's bad. That's not okay. But without any further ado, that's all I got for you guys today. So go out there, be dysfunctional, cause some chaos, or whatever you do in your meantime. Just don't do drugs or get arrested, or, you know, bad things. Or do all the bad things. Just don't tell anybody. Or tell people, though, that's bad. I give bad advice. Without further ado, yeah, don't get caught. Or, well, maybe you should get caught. Anyway, never mind. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any more suggestions, put it down in the comments. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down, but still subscribe. Like, just subscribe and watch the content go up. Or watch it to hate me. Hate watch me. There you go. Make memes of my faces. Yeah. Do things like that. Just subscribe, please. Ring the bell. Or not my bell, but like... Yay, I'm bad at exits or outros.